Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday morning Mind the Moment gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. And this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I'm very happy to be here this morning with Christine O'Shaughnessy. She's a mindfulness teacher for Harvard Pilgrim and longtime meditator. Good morning, Christine.
Good morning, Suzanne. Thank you for having me today.
So nice to have you this morning. And Christine and I were speaking this morning about our theme, and we have lots to discuss today. So we're really looking forward to this session. As we always do, Christine will start off with a question for the group and then lead us in a guided practice and share some thoughts with us. And after that, you'll have time for questions and comments. So if you have anything that's on your mind right now, go ahead and type it into the chat. So if you go to the bottom of your screen and open up that chat, you'll notice you can click on the drop-down menu there and click on everyone if you'd like to see everyone's comments coming in as they're typed. And that's about it. So we'll get started. And again, nice to see everybody joining this morning. What question do you have for us this morning, Christine?
So my question is, how comfortable do you feel with uncertainty? Nice theme for today's times. How comfortable do you feel with uncertainty?
Yeah, go ahead and type into the chat. Any thoughts on that? I know I am extremely uncomfortable with uncertainty. I've always been that kind of person. I tend to hold on to things at times when things are going well. So I would say that's an area of focus for me. How about everybody else out there? I get really anxious, not very comfortable. It makes me anxious and consumes my thoughts. It's so natural, you know?
Yeah. I know for me, I end up trying to fix it. And then I recognize that I'm doing that. I think, oh, I can do this. I can resolve this, fix this. And then I'm like, oh, right. No, I can't. It's hard.
Mm-hmm. And someone says getting used to it lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how these really challenging times are teachers, as uncomfortable as it is.
Yes.
I've gotten better over the last 18 months, but still have a lot of room for growth. Yeah, we all do, for sure. Not well. I sometimes compensate on controlling the things I can. Yes, I resemble that.
Yeah, me too.
Depends on what it is. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. Well, thank you for all the comments, everyone.
So I thought I'd start with actually a quote on uncertainty. And this is by a social psychologist, Eric Fromm. And the quote is, "The quest for certainty blocks the search for meaning. Uncertainty is the very condition to impel man to unfold his powers." So I'm going to read that again. I find it an interesting quote. "The quest for certainty blocks the search for meaning. Uncertainty is the very condition to impel man to unfold his powers." So I was thinking about that this morning, and I look at that as how we approach uncertainty. We forget, I think, that it's really an opportunity for exploration and for curiosity. And then when we can rest in it, sometimes if the mind's not so contracted, then we can open up to what this quote says are our powers, right? Our internal intuitive powers, whatever it is, to see things differently. But we have to be able to face or be willing to face uncertainty, hold all of its uncomfortableness within us, within our meditation, and really feel the felt sense of it, how it affects us. And then when we can soften into it and kind of unfold like a flower, That's where I think that power is. That was my interpretation. I don't know. What do you think, Suzanne?
Yeah, I I really do agree that it opens up our curiosity. So I agree with what you've said. Yeah, it's it is something that we need to practice. I guess it's like anything else in our brain. If we incline our mind to go that way, then maybe we get out of the controlling mind, or we get out of the I'm going to plan for three contingencies depending on what's going to happen, which is sometimes what I do. Uh, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, that there's so many opportunities for us to open up to the curiosity of these things.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
So I think we'll begin with the practice, if that's okay. I love all the comments coming in. Thank you, everyone. Hopefully, that quote will be a nice entryway into our practice if we hold that in our mind.
Sounds good.
All right. So, getting comfortable as you are, you're welcome to stay seated. If you'd like to stand for this practice, you can do that too, whatever feels comfortable for you. And you may choose to maybe sit away from the back of your chair for something a little different and just feel that body supporting you upright. And then I'm going to begin by just guiding us inward into the body and then, bringing in this theme of uncertainty and suggestion with some different techniques that we can use around uncertainty. So let's begin. So, getting comfortable, you're welcome to have your eyes opened or closed, whatever feels appropriate for you today. If your eyes are open, maybe just have them downward and soft. And then begin to just feel your whole body sitting here, feeling your feet connecting to the floor, feeling your hands, noticing the tips of your fingers. Begin to notice the air around you, the temperature of that air. Noticing any sounds. Begin to fully arrive in this moment. Noticing the air gently touching the skin on your face. Feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath entering your nose. You may notice a gentle swirling sensation as the air enters and leaves your nose. Notice what that feels like. As you begin to release all the activities of your morning and what it took to arrive here, and releasing anticipation of what's to come in this practice and in the rest of your day ahead. Arriving fully in this moment on this breath. And noticing the rhythm of your breath coming in and going out. Notice where you feel the breath most easily in your body. It may be at the tip of your nose, your throat, your chest, or your abdomen. Take a moment to connect to that place where you feel the rhythm of your breath most easily. You may find it supportive to gently label your breath, using words like breathing in and breathing out, or rising and falling, or counting your breath. Breathing in for 1 and out for 2, in for 3 and out for 4, counting to 10 and then beginning again at 1. And noticing with ease the breath gently coming in like a wave. Feel the breath washing over you. And as you exhale, releasing anything that you're holding on to. Feeling this next wave of breath energy coming in. And as you breathe out, releasing, relaxing, and letting go. Breathing in and breathing out. Noticing sensations. Noticing the temperature of the body. Feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath coming in and going out. Not forcing your breath in any way. Simply being aware of it. And thoughts will come and go. Noticing thoughts of the past or thoughts of the future. The past is over and the future has yet to arrive. Can we rest in this present moment of awareness? And making a soft mental note of thoughts when they arrive. Noticing if your thought is about something happening in the future, planning your day ahead, or is it a thought about something that's already happened in the past? Or is it about the present? A sensation in the body, a sound. Breathing in and out. And noticing how, just like our day-to-day experiences, even our practice is uncertain. We don't know what our practice will be like today. Each time the mind goes into thought, labeling or judging, I don't like this is good or bad, I need or I am. See if you can add in the statement, I don't know, after each thought, or simply don't know. And notice what happens in the body when you do that. So we're entering this terrain of uncertainty. We don't really know. When the mind contracts and wants to know and have an answer and justify, we bring up that sense of curiosity and explore, what if I don't know? And then return to the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. The thought enters the mind, gently adding in the statement, I don't know, after the thought, and return to the breath. Allowing the muscles in the face to soften. Allow your body and breath to be at ease. Or even gently suggesting to the mind, what if I don't know the outcome of this year ahead? How does that feel in the body and in the mind? Feeling this next wave of breath energy gently coming in and gently moving out. Noticing areas in the body where there may be contraction. When we rest in this area of uncertainty or doubt, what does that feel like in the body? Making a soft mental note of any sensation, and then returning to this next breath. And then beginning to allow your attention to expand to sound. Noticing sounds inside or outside of the room. You notice the sound of silence, the sound of your own breath. And then gently coming back to the sound of bells, tracking them all the way to the end. If your mind moves into thought, gently come back to the sound of the bells. And then when you're ready, gently opening your eyes if they were closed, coming back into this space, and notice how you feel. Notice what's happening.
Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome. I hope that was helpful and beneficial for everybody.
Yeah. I'm curious what folks felt like when you mentioned during the sitting, as a thought comes in and you say, don't know. I just wonder if people could type in what your reaction was when Christine gave us that guidance. Because I found what I did is I did an extra out breath, and I just, when you said, when a thought came in, I just don't know, and I just released. And that helped me to release expectations or judgment, like, why is my thought coming in? Well, it's just because that's what the mind does. So it helped me to release some of those judgment feelings. Someone's added in here, I said to myself, what will be, will be.
Mm.
Yeah, anyone else that had any particular reaction or felt a change in how you dealt with those thoughts coming in? It's interesting. When you were initially talking about uncertainty, I was thinking about our work. We almost have to separate our this practice of dealing with uncertainty from our work, because I feel like in our work we are doing contingency planning. That's just part of what we do in our work, and planning to, if something happens, then we do this. If another thing happens, then we do that. We tend to be, depending on what we do for work, in that mode of planning for, when uncertainty happens. Well, what could come out? It could be 1, 2, or 3, and what do we do with those scenarios? So you almost have to separate yourself from that work life of planning for uncertainty.
True, very true.
Which is a challenge, because like we said earlier, your brain kind of gets in the mode of this is how you deal with uncertainty. Well, at work, I do, when we're writing contracts, we make sure that we plan for these things to happen, so it's just interesting.
I do think we've become more skilled at doing that, though, over the past 15 months with what has been thrown at us with the pandemic. I don't know if our minds really would have behaved the same way that they are today. And some people may still be in the old way that they used to behave, but I think we've all had to learn how to adapt and be okay with some level of uncertainty.
Yeah, that's true. We were talking about that earlier, how this really difficult situation, that it's given us that one of those gifts of, like, okay, we just have to go with the flow and wear our masks or whatever we do to protect ourselves and our loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to just take things as they come.
Right. And
Mm.
maybe not being so attached to when will this end, right? Because this may be this way for an extended period of time, off and on, with ebbs and flows. And so, as these teachings say, when we cling really tightly to something, thinking, oh, this is the end, or it's going to be different now, and then it isn't, we're surprised. But really, that's the practice of uncertainty, right? It looks like things are getting better, and then all of a sudden, here we are again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So, such an interesting topic that we could really look at from so many different angles. But I
Yes.
really like that reminder of don't know. We really, and for most things in our lives, we really don't know. So if we can release ourselves from that anxious feeling, gosh, that is a beautiful thing.
And I love this practice because it can be brought into the moment to moment of your life. So through your whole day today at work, when your mind starts to struggle with something and you're trying to find a solution, just pull in that, I don't know. So if we use it moment to moment, don't know, not just in our meditation, it I think allows the mind to soften a little bit around any experience that may be causing conflict in the mind or rumination or attachment or doubting, self doubt. I mean, that's such a big piece of uncertainty.
Mhm. And like we were talking about earlier, when you release like that, the curiosity kind of peaks a little bit, and maybe something will come to you that will help you in your work situation. So, when we're all contracted, it's hard to
Yeah.
it's hard to be creative. So this could really help our creativity and our, out of the box thinking. So
Yes.
thank you so much, Christine.
Well,
Very, very,
I love being here. Thank you for inviting me.
yeah, it's great to have you. And what a great discussion. And a wonderful topic for us all to learn from. And thank you to all the folks out there who's joined us and practiced with us, which we feel the community here. So we're really, really grateful for that. And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday, of course, at 8:30 as well. Tara Healy will be back. So again, thank you so much for being here. We love having you here, and we look forward to being with you again soon. Thanks, Christine.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.